Hi there, welcome to the Accidental Homeschooler. I'm Sam Sorbo. Today we're talking about how parenting is hard, but homeschooling isn't nearly as hard. And the reason is because if you're already parenting, then homeschooling is just sort of adding into that equation, and it's fun. But if you're not really parenting because you are so complacent, dropping your child off at an institution every day, taking them to tutoring, taking them to soccer, and expecting parenting to happen sort of by osmosis or via other avenues or just expecting like the whole parenting thing, like the kids will just grow up. That's just what they do. I remember seeing an Oprah episode years and years ago, and she had some celebrity on, and that celebrity had just gotten divorced, and she said in front of the audience, "And how are the kids?" And the celebrity said, "The kids are fine, they're doing fine." And she said, "Yeah, they're resilient, aren't they?" And it's such a blanket statement, like, the kids they just take care of themselves. Like, they just parent themselves into adulthood. And I reject that. I remember back then, and I didn't have kids back then, but I was like, that's not right. Like they just emerge unscathed from anything that happens to them. Well, we know that that's not right. But she just wanted to give this person a pass, like not to make them feel guilty. In fact, I imagine that the moment that she asked that question, she regretted it. In any case, if you're not invested in parenting your child, may I please suggest that you turn that around right now. Change that attitude within yourself and say, you know what? But I want to be the best darn parent that I possibly could be. And so how do I do that? And the way you do that is you involve yourself in your children's lives as much as possible, not as little as possible, not the minimum amount just to sort of get them up and out, but the opposite of that, the very most amount. And that's not just, well, I know I'll coach their soccer team. It's more than that. It's I will take charge of what they learn. I will take charge of how they learn. I will take charge of making sure that they learn things that are important to me. It's all of that rolled into one. So I get into conversations with parents who sort of just reject this paradigm. In fact, I was at lunch the other day, and the gal sitting next to me said, I said, "Oh, well," she said, we've just moved, right? And so how are you doing? Have you found the schools that you want to do, that you want your kids to go to in the fall? Which is funny because COVID. But anyway, I said, well, I homeschool, so I'm pretty set. And she said, yeah, I really believe in public school. Now, we were in a restaurant, we were with other people. I wasn't going to get into it with her then. But you have to ask yourself, and I would have asked her this, if this was a conversation that she wanted to have, which I got the distinct impression she didn't. She wanted to shut the conversation down. Why? Why do you believe in the public school system, or in any one in particular? Now, there are a lot of people, I've talked to parents who say, the public school in our neighborhood is really phenomenal. All the teachers and the whole community, and we're very supportive of everybody. And okay, that's a different scenario. I'm still not, I'm not convinced, but if you as a parent are, then who am I to say, I'm just telling you what works as a general rule. Okay? And generalizations are wrong in specific instances, but as a general rule, right? And the problem is that even if your school is spectacular, how involved are you if your child is going away from you for 8 hours a day? Sorry, you can't beat the homeschooling. Now, you might say, well, I just don't want to. Okay, then admit that, right? And move on. But if you don't want to for particular reasons that I can dispel, then maybe you should consider it. So, So I was talking with a parent who is coming at this completely fresh, really knows nothing, doesn't know where to start, doesn't know what to do. And the more I talked to her, the more I realized, you know, she's got some issues with her daughter, rolling her eyes, acting out, making disdainful comments about her, things that are parenting issues. And her attitude is, I can't homeschool because of those issues. Those issues don't go away when you send your child to school. I wrote a piece years ago, Troubled Teens Born in the Classroom, talking about how if you have a poor relationship with your teenager, first of all, it's engendered by the notion that you've allowed the school to sort of usurp your role in that teen's life. And so where do you fit in? You've been supplanted. Where do you fit in? What is your role? Well, you have to provide food and shelter and clothing. Thanks, Mom. Bye. You know, I mean, the old joke, hey, where are you going? Crazy. And then out the door, right? So people, if you're saying I can't homeschool because I haven't parented my child well enough to think that I could have a relationship with them, then I urge you to reconsider. You are still the adult. Revamp your relationship. And maybe the way to do that is actually to home educate. They're not really getting an education in school, you know. That ship has sailed. Common Core and now COVID, that ship is gone. So really consider it. And by the way, if you're like on board but you have friends who are not, please refer them to my videos. I'm trying to emancipate parents from the shackles of the public education system. And by doing that, we emancipate the children. We free the children. In fact, there's a great meme out right now that shows how most children think about school, and it shows all the children sort of behind the barbed wire fence, all dressed in orange, prison garb. That's how they think about school. Now, granted, there are some kids who are like, no, I love school. But a lot of them don't. Maybe that's your kid, and maybe you could be your kid's hero. So take a look at my other videos and really seriously consider it. If you want more convincing, get my book, They're Your Kids. They're your kids. They're your kids. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sharing. Check out the description below for lots of other information. Thanks. Be well.